The sun rose slowly over the Pacific Ocean in 1937. The skies were clear, the waves calm, and the world waited for one brave woman to complete a journey no one else had dared. Amelia Earhart sat in the cockpit of her twin-engine Lockheed Electra. Beside her, navigator Fred Noonan checked their course. They were close, just a few more miles to reach Howland Island, but something strange happened that morning. The radio went silent. Amelia's last words were, "We are on the line, but we can't see you." Then nothing. The U.S. Navy searched for weeks. Planes, ships, and experts all looked for her. But not a single piece of the plane was ever found. It was as if Amelia and her navigator had vanished into thin air. For years, people believed she crashed and sank. Others thought she became a spy or was captured. But the truth was far stranger. And in the year 2025, someone would finally find it. Dr. Marcus Hawley was not a pilot, not a soldier. He was a historian. A nerd, most people said. But he had one obsession: Amelia Earhart. Ever since childhood, he believed something more had happened to her. Something the world never understood. He worked in a small lab in Seattle. His only company was books, maps, and old radio recordings. But one day, everything changed. It started with a strange signal. A deep-sea probe, searching. Old war debris near Howland Island picked up something unusual. It was a weak frequency, old, almost like Morse code, but not in any known language. Marcus got the raw data and ran it through his translation software. What he read made his skin crawl. "She is with us, still screaming." The coordinates were wrong. The signal was not coming from Earth. It was bouncing down from space, from an old satellite no one remembered launching. A satellite without a name. A satellite moving slowly beyond the moon. Marcus's hands shook as he typed the override codes. He was not supposed to access it. But curiosity was stronger than fear. The screen turned black for a second. Then, a face appeared. Not a human face. A girl, young, strange violet skin, eyes like glowing stars. Hair that seemed to float like mist, but she spoke English. "Hello, human," she said. "You found me." Marcus stared in shock. "Who are you?" The alien girl tilted her head. "I am called Liza. I carry pain. I carry memories." "One of them is your Amelia." Marcus froze. "What do you mean? Do you know what happened to her?" The girl didn't answer right away. She looked away, like remembering something terrible. "She flew into the sky," Lisa whispered, "but the sky opened. It swallowed her. And she was never the same again." Marcus leaned closer. "Where is she now? Is she alive?" The girl's voice dropped low. "She was taken by them. The ones who collect the minds of pilots. The ones who needed her to fly." Chills ran down Marcus's spine. "Aliens?" Lisa nodded. "Not like me. I ran from them. But they made Amelia into something else. She is not dead, human. She became a part of something, living and screaming." The screen glitched. For a second, a different image appeared. It was Amelia's face. But her eyes were glowing like a machine. Her skin was part metal. And behind her, wires, pipes, and strange alien lights. She wasn't flying a plane anymore. She was flying a ship. Marcus stepped back in shock. This can't be real. The alien girl stared at him sadly. "Your world never understood. You thought she got lost. But she was taken to guide something that doesn't belong in your skies." The feed shut off. Marcus didn't sleep that night. He replayed everything. He checked Amelia's old flight path, and it matched exactly with the area where the signal came from. It was no coincidence. He wrote it all down, the signal, the face, the words. But one thing he didn't understand. Why did the alien girl seem afraid? Then he saw it at the very bottom of the decrypted message, one last line. She remembers Earth, but she does not remember herself. And next to that, another sentence. If she returns, she will not come back alone. Asterisk Dr. Marcus Hawley couldn't forget what he saw. The alien girl's face. The strange words. The flash of Amelia's metal-covered body. It all played in his mind like a nightmare that refused to fade. He had spent his life searching for a mystery. And now that he'd found it, he was terrified. The next day, Marcus sat alone in his dark lab. The satellite feed was still offline. No more images, no more words. Just silence. He tried calling the observatory in Hawaii, the one tracking strange objects near the moon, but they told him nothing was there. No satellite. No signals. It was like it never existed. But Marcus had proof. He replayed the recording, slowed down the voice of the alien girl, and listened carefully. Your world was warned before. But no one listened. They took her to learn how you fly, how you think, and now she knows how to guide them. He typed everything into his journal and backed it up on 3 drives. If this was real, it couldn't be hidden again. Suddenly, the lights in the lab flickered. The air turned cold. And his screen lit up again. The alien girl, Lisa, was back, but she looked different this time. Her eyes were tired. Her face had scars that weren't there before. Marcus leaned forward. Why did you come back? She stared at him. Because I shouldn't have spoken. They know. His heart skipped a beat. Who? Who knows? Lisa closed her eyes. The ones who took her. The ones who turned her into what you saw. I escaped. But no one escapes forever. She turned slightly, and Marcus saw her back covered in strange symbols glowing red. They looked burned into her skin. Are you in danger? He asked softly. I always have been, she whispered. But now you are too. Marcus didn't know what to say. He had so many questions. How do you speak English? He finally asked. Lisa looked up. Because I was there. Where? On Earth. Long ago. I was watching the skies when Amelia's plane disappeared. I was already in a cage, in their lab. She came after me. You saw her? I saw her scream. Marcus froze. Lisa continued. They needed her. Humans are rare, strong minds. Clear instincts. No fear in the skies. Your pilots are special. Your species flies not just with machines, but with emotion. That's what they wanted. Marcus tried to understand. You're saying she wasn't taken just for her flying skills? No, she was taken to lead a war. Marcus stepped back from his desk. A war? Lisa nodded. They want to enter your world. But their ships can't fly here without a guide. They needed her brain, her soul, to navigate the skies of Earth without being noticed. A terrible thought hit Marcus. Wait. Are you saying they're already coming? Lisa didn't answer. She just said, she knows the way now. Marcus pulled up maps of old radar log, strange sightings, missing aircraft, unexplained crashes. He saw a pattern forming. Every few years, something strange happened near the Pacific. Something fast, silent, invisible to satellites. He turned to Lisa again. Why are you telling me all this? Why me? The alien girl looked sad. Because I remember your kindness. Humans helped me once, when I was alone on a cold planet. I ran and hid for years, but one man gave me shelter. I don't want what happened to Amelia to happen to you. Her voice dropped low, and because I saw what Amelia became. Suddenly, the screen changed. Lisa reached forward and touched the lens. Don't blink, she warned. The image flashed, and for just 1 second, Marcus saw her, Amelia Earhart, suspended in a glowing tank of liquid, tubes in her back, metal on her arms, but her face, still hers. Her eyes moved, and she looked straight at the camera. She mouthed one word, help. Marcus gasped. She's still alive. Lisa nodded. Partly, but she's confused. Her memories are trapped. They're using her to fly their ship, but she's still in there. Somewhere. Can we bring her back? Lisa paused. There's a way. But it means going where no human has gone before. Marcus looked at the blinking screen. His heart raced. Tell me what to do. Lisa gave him a set of coordinates. They are hiding in the shadow of your moon, a hidden base. You'll need to go alone. And when you get there, don't try to save her, Marcus blinked. But not yet, she said. First, let her remember who she was. The signal ended. Marcus sat in silence, alone again. But now he had a mission. The woman history believed dead was still alive. And she needed him. But if Lisa was right, saving her might wake something far worse. Marcus Halle didn't sleep for 2 days. He couldn't. The face of Amelia Earhart, half human, half machine, haunted his mind. Her lips moved, asking for help, but her eyes looked lost. Not just in space, but in time. He had spent years studying history, chasing myths, but now the myth was real. And she was alive. Well, mostly. Marcus followed the coordinates Lisa had sent. They pointed to a dark area behind the moon, a hidden zone no satellite or telescope ever picked up. NASA called it a dead sector, but Lisa called it something else. The grave dock. Marcus didn't know what that meant, but the name alone gave him chills. He used an old private shuttle, small, unregistered, designed for deep space research. He flew alone, carrying only basic supplies and a single mission: find Amelia. Help her remember. The journey was quiet. Too quiet. The stars around the moon looked frozen. His radar stopped picking up signals the moment he crossed into the dead zone. And then he saw it. It floated like a sleeping monster. A massive ship, long, black, alive. Not built from metal, but from something organic. Its surface pulsed slowly, like breathing skin. It had no windows, no engines, no lights. Just silence and shadows. Marcus had never seen anything like it. His shuttle drifted closer. As he got near, a strange magnetic pull guided him in. The ship opened. Not like a door, but like a mouth. He entered without permission. Inside the ship was even stranger. There were no control panels, no buttons, no signs of technology. Instead, the walls looked like bone, and the corridors were lined with glowing veins. The air smelled metallic, and every sound echoed like a whisper. Marcus walked carefully, his flashlight trembling in his hand. Then he saw her, suspended in a giant glass tank, floating in blue liquid, was the body of a woman, metal fused into her skin, wires wrapping her arms, and a helmet covering part of her head. But her face was Amelia's. Her lips moved slowly. Her eyes opened, and Marcus heard her voice, not from her mouth, but in his mind. Who are you? He took a step forward. I'm Marcus, he said out loud. I came for you, Amelia. There was silence. Then her voice replied again inside. His thoughts. Amelia, that name feels like a dream. I remember skies, I remember wind, and then pain. She began to shake. The tank trembled. Alarms, organic, high-pitched screeches echoed through the ship. They changed. Me took my mind. I flew, not planes, but stars. Marcus looked around in panic. The ship was waking up. Stay with me, he shouted. You're still human, part of you is. Do you remember Howland Island? Do you remember the Pacific? Her eyes locked onto his for a moment. Something flashed. A memory. Fred was with me. Then fire. Then silence. Tears welled in Marcus's eyes. You're not a machine, he said. You're not their tool. You're a hero. You're Amelia Earhart, the first woman to cross the Atlantic alone. You're more than what they turned you into. She twitched again. The blue liquid began to boil. Suddenly, the voice of Lisa echoed from behind him. You're waking her up too fast. Marcus turned. Lisa stood there, no spacesuit, no ship. Just her. How are you here? He asked. I'm linked to her, she said. They connected us long ago. She was the first. I was the backup. Marcus stared at Amelia, then back at Lysa. Why does she seem so broken? Lysa's face darkened. Because they removed her memories, piece by piece. Replaced her fear with commands, replaced her courage with systems. But part of her never let go. Is that how you escaped? I had help. A human scientist freed me. That's why I helped you. Because Amelia deserves the same. Suddenly, the lights dimmed. The ship groaned. Amelia's body began to rise from the tank. Metal legs folded out. Her hands transformed into tools and controls. But her face remained soft, still fighting. Don't be afraid, Marcus whispered. You're not alone anymore. Her eyes burned bright. They want to use me again. I hear them calling. But I don't want to fly for them anymore. Lysa stepped forward. Then don't. Come with us. The ship shook violently. Red. Lights blinked all around. They know we're here, Amelia said. They're coming. Marcus reached out and touched her metal hand. Then we fight, he said. Together. The three of them stood inside the alien ship, one human, one runaway alien girl, and one reborn pilot who had once made history. But now, a new chapter was beginning. Because Amelia Earhart didn't vanish, she evolved. Asterisk. The alien ship was no longer asleep. Red pulses moved along the walls like angry veins. A low hum, almost like a growl, echoed through every corridor. The entire place was alive, and it knew there were intruders inside. Marcus could feel it in his chest. The ship was not just waking up, it was warning them. Amelia stood between Marcus and Lysa, her metal legs now fully extended. Her arms shimmered with strange panels and light. She looked human, but also like something that had been rebuilt for war. Yet her eyes, they were not cold. They were scared. I remember it now, Amelia whispered. They didn't crash me. They changed me. Rebuilt me inside this ship. Lysa stepped forward. You are not one of them anymore. You fought. You resisted. That's why your memory came back. But Amelia's expression was dark. I'm still connected. I can feel the other ships. The others like me. Marcus looked confused. There are more? Lysa nodded. Dozens, maybe more, all over the galaxy. Pilots from different species. Taken, merged, controlled. But Amelia was the first human. And the strongest. The ground suddenly shifted. The ship roared. Something was happening. It's moving, Amelia said. We have to leave now. A door opened behind them, like the ship wanted them gone. But Marcus didn't move. He had one more question. Where are the others? Where is the home of the ones who did this? Amelia turned her glowing eyes toward the sky. There's a place, she said softly. A ship that never lands. It floats deep inside a nebula made of fire and ghosts. That's where they keep the control core. The minds of every pilot they've taken are stored there like voices trapped in glass. Lysa's eyes widened. The ghost nebula, Amelia nodded. And it's calling me back. Back on Marcus's shuttle, the three left the breathing ship just in time. Behind them, the alien vessel folded into itself and vanished into a blink of dark light. Marcus punched in the new coordinates. Tell me where the ghost nebula is, he said. Lysa gave him a quiet look. If we go there, we may not come back. I don't care, Marcus replied. I didn't come this far to turn back. Amelia sat in silence. She didn't need a chair. Her body had changed too much for comfort. Her eyes stayed locked on the stars. There's something I didn't tell you, she said after a long pause. When they took me, I wasn't alone. They had Fred too. My navigator. He died trying to protect me. Marcus blinked. I thought only you were taken. Amelia shook her head. They tried to make us both part of the ship. But his mind broke. His voice still echoes in their network. Lysa looked down. That's what the Ghost Nebula is, a graveyard of voices. They arrived after 16 hours of hyperspace travel. Nebula wasn't like the colorful ones in science books. It was gray, smoky. It spun slowly like a dying cyclone. Inside it were broken ships, floating bones of machines, and glowing fragments of destroyed planets. There were no stars inside, just shadows. In the center, a ship the size of a small moon hovered. It wasn't built, it had grown. Its shape kept changing: tentacles of metal, wings that folded, eyes that opened and closed along the surface. "That's it," Amelia said. "That's where they keep the mines," Marcus stared. "It looks like it's watching us." "It is," Lysa whispered. "And it remembers you, Amelia." As they approached, voices filled the cabin. Not over the radio, but in their heads. "Amelia, come back. You belong to the flight. You guide us once more." Amelia winced. "They're calling me." "But I won't answer." Marcus grabbed her hand. "You're stronger than them." But the ship responded with force. A beam of black light hit their shuttle and pulled it toward. "The beast!" Lisa screamed. "We're caught!" Marcus shouted, "Turn the engine off. Let them think we're surrendering." Amelia nodded. "It might work. Let me speak their language." As the ship dragged them in, Amelia stood near the front. Her body glowed brighter. She wasn't just part machine anymore. She was something new, half of Earth's spirit and half of the enemy's creation. And right now, she was their only chance to survive. The shuttle landed inside a giant open bay-like. A mouth filled with wires and black steam. Voices echoed around them. Dozens, hundreds. Marcus could barely stay on his feet. Lysa dropped to her knees, holding her head. But Amelia walked forward, calm, strong. "You took my name," she said into the dark. "Now I take it back." Suddenly the ship responded. A wall opened. Behind it was a massive chamber filled with glowing orbs. Each orb held a face. Different species, different eyes. Some human-like. Some not. They were alive. Screaming. Begging. Floating. Lysa whispered. "These are the stolen mines." Amelia looked over them all. And she heard one voice louder than the rest. "Millie, don't leave me." Her hand trembled. "Fred." Marcus stepped beside her. "Can we free them?" Amelia didn't answer. But her eyes burned bright with rage. "I don't know," she said, "but I'm going to try." The room was silent, yet full of voices. Amelia stood in the center of the glowing chamber, surrounded by orbs, each one holding a trapped mind, each one a memory stolen. They hovered like stars, pulsing softly. Some whispered, some cried, and some had forgotten how to speak at all. But one voice broke through the noise. "Millie, please, don't leave me again." Her heart skipped. No one had called her Millie in years. No one but Fred Noonan. Marcus stepped beside her. His face was pale, his eyes wide. "Is it really him?" Amelia nodded slowly, her metal fingers curled tight. "Yes, it's Fred." She moved toward the orb where the voice came from. Inside, she saw a faint image, a man's face, tired and broken. His eyes were dull, like they hadn't seen light in a lifetime. Fred Noonan, her navigator. Her friend, the last man she saw before the sky turned black. "I failed him," she whispered. "I let them take him, because I survived." Lisa moved closer. "You didn't fail him. You were both taken. You were both used." "But I'm still here," Amelia said. "He's trapped. He's lost." Marcus touched her shoulder. "Then let's find a way to bring him back." Amelia shook her head. "It's not that easy. These mines, they're not just locked. They're woven into the ship. Their thoughts are part of its navigation. Their memories power its travel systems." Lysa looked around the glowing room. "So, if we free them, the ship loses control?" Amelia nodded. "Yes, but if we fail, it could kill them all." Marcus looked at the rows of orbs. So many faces. So many lives. Some were human. Some were alien. But they all had one thing in common. They had been stolen. Why did they take so many? He asked. Amelia closed her eyes. Because their species can't fly like we do. They don't understand freedom. They can't build dreams like humans, so they take minds that can. They use us as engines, as maps, as slaves. And Fred? Marcus asked. He was strong. Too strong. They couldn't control him, so they buried him here, but didn't let him go. She pressed her hand against the orb holding Fred. His image flickered. His lips moved again. Millie, the waves. I still hear the ocean. Her body trembled. Her human soul still beat beneath the machine shell. She remembered it. The crash, the silence, the smell of salt water, her screams as Fred was dragged from her hands, and then the cold lab. The pain, the transformation, but she had survived, and now so could he. I need to wake him, she said. I need to give him back his memories. Lysa looked unsure. If you do that, the ship will know. I don't care, Amelia said. I won't leave him here. She placed her palm flat on the orb and closed her eyes. A flash of light burst through the room. Marcus was thrown backward. Lisa screamed. Amelia fell into darkness. Not her body, her mind. She saw herself again, young, free, flying above the clouds in 1937. The sun above. The Pacific below. Fred sat beside her, smiling. I think we're lost, Millie, he joked. She laughed. But suddenly, the sky tore open. A shadow swallowed them. A scream filled the air, not from the plane, but from the stars. Then silence. Amelia gasped and opened her eyes. The orb glowed brighter. Fred's image grew clearer. Millie? He said. His voice was stronger now. Is it really you? Tears fell from her eyes. Yes, Fred. I came back for you. He looked around. Where are we? In a cage, she said. But I'm breaking it. Marcus watched as the orb cracked down the middle. Soft blue light poured out. Fred fell out, his body weak, his legs shaking, but he was reeled out alive. He collapsed into Amelia's arms. I thought I'd lost you, he whispered. You didn't, she replied. They did. But they can't keep us anymore. Suddenly, the walls trembled. The ship had noticed. Screams filled the chamber, not from the orbs, but from the walls themselves. The ship howled in pain. Red lights blinked. Energy began pulling back toward the center. Lisa shouted. We have to go. They're going to shut everything down. Marcus helped lift Fred. Amelia looked around. I can free more. I can wake the others. Not now. Marcus said. They'll kill everyone if we stay. She hesitated, her fists clenched. And then nodded. We'll come back. The trio ran through the living corridors as the ships. Gravity twisted and screamed. Doors closed behind them. The floor turned into liquid for a moment. The air was burning. They barely made it to the shuttle. As they escaped the mouth of the alien vessel, the nebula behind them flared red. The ship roared, but it did not follow. Not this time. Fred sat quietly in the corner of the shuttle, holding his head. Where are we? He asked. Marcus smiled. Far from home. But you're safe now. Fred looked at Amelia. You saved me, she nodded. Just like you tried to save me. He paused. Do you think we'll ever go home again? Amelia looked out the window. At the stars. I don't know, she said softly. But I remember Earth. I remember the ocean. I remember us. And I'll fight anyone who tries to take that away again. Fred Noonan slept for the first time in decades. His body reconstructed from stolen memories, and artificial flesh lay curled in a corner of the shuttle, quietly breathing. But his mind was still fragile. He had seen too much. He had been inside the network too long. Amelia sat beside him, her metal fingers resting gently over his chest, feeling the slow rise and fall. He was alive, but the horrors inside his mind were not gone. Marcus stood near the shuttle's control panel. He had questions, many questions, and he knew only one person or alien could answer them. Lysa sat cross-legged on the floor, her glowing hands pressed to the shuttle's data receiver. She wasn't just helping guide them through space anymore. She was searching. "Lysa," Marcus said, stepping closer. "We need to talk. I need to know what this really is. All of it. What those creatures are, what they want." Lysa opened her eyes slowly. "You already know what they are. You've seen it." "I've seen what they did," Marcus said. "But why? Why go through all this? Why steal minds instead of building their own machines?" She paused, as if unsure he could handle the answer. And then she began to speak. "They were once explorers," Lysa said. "Long before Earth discovered flight, they traveled galaxies. Not in ships, but in thought. Pure mind. Pure will. They left their bodies behind, and in doing so, they lost something." Marcus frowned. "They lost what?" "Instinct," she said. "Emotion. The things that make decisions feel alive. They became perfect, but empty. Their ships had no soul. Their missions had no purpose, so they started stealing minds?" Marcus asked. "They didn't see it as stealing," Lysa replied. "To them, it was survival. They needed what they lacked. So they built living ships grown from flesh, not metal, and filled them with pilots who still had fear, hope, love. Things they could no longer understand." Amelia's voice joined in, soft and bitter. "They took me because I flew with heart. They didn't want machines, they wanted me, my instincts. My reflexes, my memories." Marcus stared at her. "So, the ship becomes part of you, but you also become part of it." Lysa nodded. "Exactly, you guide it. And it feeds on your thoughts. Bit by bit, your mind becomes its map." Marcus's stomach turned. "And Fred? What they did to him?" "They tried to use him like Amelia," Lysa said. "But his resistance caused instability. His mind fought too hard. So they trapped him. In storage, a broken compass they didn't know how to fix." The shuttle beeped softly. They were moving toward neutral space now, outside the nebula's reach. But none of them felt safe. Marcus rubbed his temples. "And the orbs, the glowing chambers full of faces, what are those?" "Memory cores," Lysa answered. "Every pilot they ever took, locked inside and used as code. Each mind fuels part of their system, navigation, even language. The more minds they take, the stronger they get." "But why not just build AI?" Marcus asked. Lysa's expression turned cold. "Because they can't. They evolved past emotion. They destroyed their own creators. Machines need creators. And they killed theirs." Amelia stood now, her tall form glowing with faint energy. "That's why they fear humans," she said. "We build machines, but we feel when we fly. That feeling. That's what powers their tech now. They envy it. They need it." Marcus whispered. "And that's why they'll come again." Amelia nodded. "They saw what I could do." "What we could do. Earth is full of minds like mine. They'll want more." Fred stirred in his sleep. Amelia turned toward Marcus. "I want to stop them." "So do I," he said. "But how?" Lysa asked. "They've existed for millions of years. They live in the edges of reality. You can't just shoot them." Amelia's eyes narrowed. "No," she said. "But I know where their heart is." She reached into her chest plate and pulled out a glowing crystal, small, jagged, and humming. Marcus stared. "What is that?" "It's a piece of the first ship they put me in," she said. "When I escaped, I tore this from its mind. It's a command shard, the center of its thought." Lysa's eyes widened. "That's dangerous." "It's also a key," Amelia said. "It remembers the path to the core, the one ship that controls the others." "The control ship," Lysa whispered. "It's just a legend." "No," Amelia said. "It's real. I've seen it. I was part of it." Marcus stepped closer. "And if we reach it, then we end this," Amelia said. "We shut down the network. We free the minds. and Earth will never have to face them. A long silence followed. Then Marcus gave a firm nod. Then we go to the core. Lysa looked nervous. We'll need help. I know someone, Marcus said. An old smuggler who owes me a favor. He has cloaking tech and no love for aliens. Good, Amelia said, because if we fail, Earth may never get another warning. They set the coordinates. The journey was beginning again, but this time, they were not searching for answers. They were coming to destroy what had stolen Amelia's soul. Asterisk stars stretched like white scars across the black sky. Inside Marcus's shuttle, the crew sat in silence. Amelia, now glowing with purpose. Fred, tired but stronger. And Lysa, nervous but ready. They weren't running anymore. This time, they were going to end it. Amelia held the command shard in her palm, its soft blue light pulsing like a heart. That shard wasn't just a key, it was a memory. It carried the map to the control ship, the source of the alien fleet's stolen power. And the mines still trapped inside. They'll see us coming, Lysa whispered. Let them, Amelia said. They took my name, my body, my friend. They won't take anything else. Marcus contacted his old smuggler friend, as promised. A rough man named Cal, who flew a cloaked vessel called the Wraith. Cal didn't ask many questions. You got aliens messing with old war pilots? He grunted over the comm. Sounds like your usual trouble, Halle. Can you get us past their sensors? Marcus asked. I can get you in, Cal said. But getting out? That's on you. Fair enough, Marcus replied. The plan was simple. They'd ride in cloaked, bypass the outer fleet guarding the core ship. Then Amelia would use the command shard to access the control chamber, where the central memory grid was located. Once inside, they'd upload a virus created by Lysa that would overload the network and free every trapped mind. But the risks were huge. The control ship was the size of a small planet. It was alive. It had defenses no human had ever seen. And most terrifying of all, it still wanted Amelia back. As they neared the core, Fred finally spoke. I don't want to lose you again, Millie, he said, voice trembling. Amelia gave a small smile. You won't, he nodded, but his eyes stayed on her metal hands. He knew part of her would always belong to that alien ship. Even if her heart didn't. The Wraith entered the control ship through a living gate, an opening that blinked like an eye and swallowed them whole. Inside, the walls were covered in veins of light. Alien symbols floated in the air. The air itself pulsed with slow, deep breathing. Amelia stepped forward, the command shard glowing brighter in her hand. She led the way through tunnels of bone and metal, deeper into the ship's core. Voices whispered around them again. Return to us. You are the flight. You are home. But Amelia didn't stop. Finally, they reached the chamber. It was vast. Floating in the center was a glowing sphere bigger than a house. Inside, thousands of trapped minds flickered like stars. Marcus stood in awe. This is it. Lysa began uploading the virus. It'll take 2 minutes, she said. Hold them off until it's done. But the ship wasn't going to wait. The walls opened, dozens of metal tentacles emerged. The ship was defending itself. Fred grabbed a weapon. I'll hold them off. No, Amelia stepped in front of him. I'll do it. Her body began to change, panels slid open. Her arms transformed into bright energy conduits. She had been built to fly, but also to fight. She launched forward, striking the first tentacle with blinding light. The ship screamed, more came, but Amelia didn't stop. She was faster than them, stronger than she ever was as a pilot. This was what they made her for. And now, she was using it against them. Marcus and Fred guarded Lysa while she worked. Sparks flew. The virus upload hit 60%, then 80%, then 95 amperes. Massive tentacles struck the ground beside them. Lysa screamed. Amelia saw it. She pushed herself between them and the strike. A blade pierced her side. She dropped to one knee. Almost there. Lysa shouted. "Amelia, fall back!" Marcus yelled, but Amelia looked at Fred and smiled. "No," she whispered. "I'm not leaving again." The virus hit 100%. The core began to collapse. All around them, the walls turned to light. The trapped minds began to fade, but not in death, in freedom. Fred felt something warm inside his head, then silence. "They're gone," he whispered. "They're free." Lisa collapsed from exhaustion. Marcus grabbed her, but Amelia stayed kneeling. The tentacles fell. The ship screamed one final time, and then everything went still. Amelia's body was fading. Her lights dimmed. Fred rushed to her. "Millie, no. Don't go." She looked up at him, her eyes soft. "I flew again, Fred. But this time, I chose where." He held her as her light faded, back on the Wraith, hours later. They watched from the view-in window as the control ship exploded silently in the void. No more stolen mines. No more monsters. Just stars. Weeks passed. Fred returned to Earth with Marcus and Lisa. He never forgot what Amelia did. Neither did the world once Marcus revealed the truth. They told the story of the pilot who never crashed. Woman who flew across the stars and saved them all.